Ceago wants to be sustainable with the triple bottom line as its main focus, but Jim faces some problem. Jim wants to promote biodynamic wines. However, very few customers understand the meaning behind such wines, and they see no value add compared to the regular ones. Jim is thus unable to communicate his passion in sustainable wine practices to consumers. Also, more wineries are moving towards biodynamic wine production, making it difficult for Ceago to adopt a differentiation strategy based on sustainable wine practices alone. Hence, Jim is keen in using agritourism to promote such wines, but he is unsure of how this idea will be received by consumers. However, Ceago has two main differentiating factors over its competitors. For heritage, Jim has the advantage that as he has been in the business of producing biodynamic wines for a long time, and this gives him a head start over other wineries. The other advantage is that Ceago is self-reliant. It does not have to rely on other vineyards for the grapes used to produce the wines, and Jim has control over how his wines taste. Similarly, Ceago is financially sound and has capital reserves. Leveraging on these factors, we have come up with a few recommendations that Ceago can adopt to achieve its goal of being sustainable. Recommendations deal with the issue of people not understanding the true meaning behind biodynamic labels. For agritourism, we'll first look at our target segment of consumers. One example is John, a retired investment banker who is a passionate of fine wines. Another example would be Kate, who loves drinking wines. At the same time, she regularly takes short weekend trips to the countryside to wind down after a hectic week at work. We have thus crafted our product offerings after understanding the psychographics of our target audience. Ceago should look at hosting events such as weddings or corporate meetings to boost its profile. This can drum up publicity and attract more people to find out more about it. The other way is through wine tasting. Surveys have shown that the perception of the quality of biodynamic wines varied greatly according to the familiarity of the respondents to these wines. Hence, the wine tasting will allow consumers to appreciate the difference biodynamic wines have over the regularly produced ones. Another way is through vineyard tours and homestays. Visitors will be able to see for themselves how the grapes are grown and harvested in the winemaking process. The aim is to create a top-of-the-mind recall about biodynamic wines. We also suggest having tie-ups with other biodynamic wineries in the vicinity of Lake County. Examples include those owned by Jim's siblings, such as Jericho's Estate, which is an hour's drive from Ceago Vineyard. Visits to multiple vineyards will give visitors a broader view of the environmental issues of biodynamic wine production. Now, we will look at the promotional aspect. A trip to Ceago Vineyard will be marketed as a gateway from the city. We will work together with Ceago wine distributors and wine club members to promote our new service offerings. Most importantly, given that our target group utilizes the internet heavily, we also engage the use of social media such as Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn to spread the reach of our promotional efforts. Now, we'll look at the recommendation of certification. Although Ceago wines are biodynamically certified, many people do not understand its true meaning. Hence, a more recognizable label such as the USDA organic label will help to boost the understanding consumers have towards Ceago wines. Our next two recommendations discusses the issue of wine production and sales. Currently, production is at 8,000 cases per year. About 90% of the wines produced are Chardonnay wines and 13% are Cabernet wines. We recommend Ceago to increase its wine production by 3,000 cases on a yearly basis to reach its full capacity of 20,000 cases in the next 5 years. This will be a 150% increase from the current production. The other change we propose is to increase the percentage of Cabernet wines produced and decrease the Chardonnay wine production. This is our planned mix. We chose to increase the percentage of Cabernet wines produced because they have a greater profit margin as compared to Chardonnay wines. There's a difference of about 21%. By changing the mix of wines produced, there will be an increase in wine sales revenue for each year. Currently, Ceago is dependent on distributors for almost half of its wine sales. Ceago should increase sales over the internet, reducing the need for distributors. They can sell and market their biodynamic wines to a larger audience base, and this allows Ceago to convey the message of sustainable wine practices to consumers. Now, we will look at how these recommendations will be implemented over the next 5 years.
Let's go through the advertising plan that will commence 1 year before the start of the expansion project. In year 0, we will advertise for the guided tours which we will co-host with neighbouring winemakers from the start of year 1. In year 1, we will begin advertising the hotel, spa and restaurant that will begin operations in year 2. In addition, we will also advertise the educational stations in the vineyard as additional selling points for the co-hosted tours. In year 2, we will advertise the villas and arrange for the restaurant to sell Ceago's local produce which are used as ingredients in the restaurant's menu items. We will further expand the educational stations to cover the entire farm centre. Year 3 will see the continuation of villa advertising and the introduction of retail establishments that will be set up in Year 4. Educational stations will also be present throughout Ceago, including its winemaking facilities and resorts. The focus on Year 4 will be the completion of the final group of villas and the expansion of co-hosted tours to cover a larger area. Next, on the actual implementation of the 5-year expansion project, we have arranged for the guided tours to begin, and we will also try to earn the more recognized organic labels. In Year 2, the 50-room lakeside hotel, the wine country, spa and resort, and the organic restaurant will be completed, and educational stations will be set up in the vineyard. 20 villas will be constructed in Year 3, and the organic restaurant will begin selling Ceago's farm produce. The entire farm centre will also be covered with educational stations. In Year 4, 20 more villas will be added to the family, and the entire Ceago will be fully equipped with educational stations. The final year will complete the whole series of 60 villas and further expand tour partnerships. Let us now evaluate our solutions. The expansion into the hotel, spa and villas scores high in people because it provides more jobs and getaway opportunities in a healthy environment. It also scores high in profits because it provides potential streams of revenue. The wine production plan focuses on maximizing contribution margins while maintaining the variety of wines. Therefore, it scores high in profits while sustaining the planet with biodynamic practices. The guided tours rank high in planet, people and profits as they inform the people about biodynamic winemaking and provides a differentiating factor that creates potential to secure more profits. We shall now proceed to the financial projections of our plan.
Our revenue will come from wine sales, tours and accommodation fees. For the tours, we are targeting to increase the number of visitors to Ceago's vineyards from 10,000 to 35,000 over the next 5 years. This can be made possible through promotional efforts as mentioned earlier, as well as increased publicity with the building of the hospitality accommodation. Wine sales revenue is also set to grow with the increase in wine production to hit the full capacity of 20,000 cases per year. As for the hospitality accommodation, revenues will only come in from the second year onwards when hotels and villas are built. Average room rates will also increase with more upmarket villas built to cater to high-end customers. We also project the average room rate occupancy to increase as our accommodation choices expand. Our expected net income will be 70% of the revenue. This will be channeled for the further expansion and improvement of the hospitality project. Other additional costs to consider will be the USDA organic certification as mentioned earlier. From the second year onwards, certification costs will increase accordingly due to the increase in wine production.
To conclude, based on our findings and financial projections, the solutions we have proposed are definitely feasible. These solutions will ensure the sustainability of Ceago while achieving its mission and promoting the understanding of biodynamic wines.